Hey guys, David Pingree out here today getting our first ride on the 2020 KTM 450 SXF. Always a great bike, and a couple changes for 2020. If you last rode a 19 model, not the 19.5 factory edition, but the 19, completely different suspension. This is exactly what came on the factory edition, the 2019.5. Same stuff. Different triple clamp. They found that they went back to this style, worked a little bit better with the flex characteristic. So if you rode the factory edition, this is going to feel real similar to that. And that's kind of what they've been doing. They use that factory edition to introduce new ideas, new concepts, and then transition it to the production model the following year. And they're sticking true to that this year. They did make a big change on here with mapping, gearing, and basically letting this thing breathe. So they come this year with an optional left side plate. One of them is flat like normal, so if you're racing in the sand or rain, mud, you can throw that on. But there's also one that comes with a bunch of vent holes. That was sort of a common thing with KTM race team, Husky race team. They were drilling holes in that airbox to allow a little more air in, found that increased airflow helped horsepower and the way the bike felt. So they introduced that for the production model. So you get the standard one that's flat plus the vented one, and you get to kind of choose what you like. Now the standard, map number 1 is basically what you had last year, and 2 is now an advanced, more aggressive map that works in conjunction with obviously the new mapping, the side plate that allows it to breathe, and they added a tooth to the rear sprocket. There was some people said last year this thing didn't have enough hit. I can't imagine who those people are. Seems like it has plenty to me, but they addressed that now. So if you go to map 2, throw that vented side cover on, you're definitely going to notice this thing is aggressive. Personally myself, I liked it in map 1 with the traction control on. For me, just still plenty of horsepower, but easier to ride. I can be smoother with it, ride longer, make less mistakes, that kind of thing. So again, it depends on where you're riding. Maybe if it was deep sand, I would definitely go to that aggressive map. If I was at elevation, possibly. So it gives you a lot of options, which is cool. And I love the traction control feature. I pretty much leave it on exclusively, no matter what map I'm in. Just gives me a little bit of reassurance. If I do break loose and hit a slick spot, it's going to kind of help me correct it. So very cool feature that I tend to run. The suspension, like I said, if you rode a factory edition 2019.5, it feels really similar to me. Pretty much the same stuff. Like I mentioned, the clamp's a little different just to complement it, but it feels very similar. I made no changes to this stuff today, and the track is rough. It's full of pros. Paula Raceway out here on a Tuesday gets beat up, and we had deep ruts, bumps, holes, you name it. And I got this thing just with a clicker change here and there. We went to 105 on the sag and didn't really make a change from that point, and it felt comfortable for me. So we're going to go back and put some more time on it. We'll come back to you with a dialed-in video and get you some starting point settings. But boy, to just jump on a track this beat up and feel comfortable is certainly a testament to how good this bike comes right off the showroom floor. And all the other parts about it, from the Dunlop tires, the ODI grips, hydraulic clutch, the brakes, everything is really top-notch on this thing. So again, we'll get into some setup stuff and the dialed in, but the changes for this thing are small, but if you were looking for more horsepower, they gave it to you, and the same comfortable features that this bike has always had. So they are in KTM dealers nationwide right now. Check them out. We'll be back to you soon with a dialed in video, so check that out. Stay tuned for that. Thanks to KTM for having us out. Thanks for watching.